What's up, guys? We are back with some more Microsoft Flight Simulator. It has been a while, but we're going to be flying this beautiful EA-18G Growler. This is the mod that you can get off of flightsim.to. I can't remember who did it, but either way, it's a really nice plane, and we're going to be flying part of the SIDEWINDER Low-Level today in game. It's over in for those that aren't familiar with it, it's over around it's in California. It's around Edwards Air Force Base. So if you're an aviation buff, if you're into military aviation, then you probably know about the SIDEWINDER. It's a pretty famous low-level route, especially the Star Wars Canyon portion of it, which is exactly what we're going to be flying. So our route for today, we'll look at it really fast. We're going to be flying over to Lake Isabella, and we're going to pick up with route entry at Point Alpha. Then we're going to fly Bravo, Charlie, and then cut across on the transition through Star Wars Canyon to Juliet, and then that's basically going to be it. Then we'll fly back to China Lake. That's where we took off out of. We'll go back to China Lake and call it a day. So it should be a fun little trip to make in some really nice scenery. So absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, not a bad airplane. Of course, it's not DCS quality. You know, you're never going to have a DCS quality aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is 2020. I can't do 2024. My computer barely handles 2020. So it's good enough, though, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a DCS quality to be a good airplane. It flies pretty decent. It flies reasonable to what I think a Growler would fly like. I have no reference, you know, that's the thing, and it always kind of kills me. Like, you see guys on some of the forums be like, this plane isn't anything like the real thing. I'm like, well, have you flown the real thing? Like, how do you really know? You know, I mean, you can go off what, you know, real pilots say, but other than that, you know, it's kind of difficult to have a comparison. So my biggest complaint with this airplane when I first downloaded it was the fuel burn. She was literally burning like over a pound of fuel a second, just sitting in idle on the ground. And so you would fly something like the SIDEWINDER, and I would be down to 40% fuel just flying half of the SIDEWINDER, you know, with a transition. I was like, that is ridiculous. So luckily, with the help of amazing AI, I did an audit of the fuel settings for the aircraft, the fuel configuration, the engine configuration, the fuel consumption of the engine configuration. And between AI and I, we tweaked it, and you know, is it 100%? No, probably not, but it's definitely good for me. So that's what it, you know, that's what it comes down to. Man, look at that. Isn't it beautiful out there? If you look over into Central Valley, look at all the fog and the clouds and stuff. This is true to life, real weather. You know, you get over here in the deserty part, the dry, deserty part of California, and it's really, you know, pretty and clear. So, yeah, the weather's pretty bad over there towards Bakersfield and Lemoore and Fresno that way. All right, so we're coming up. That's Lake Isabella over there. It's a really quick hop over here to the low level. All right, let's go ahead and let's disable our autopilot. There we go. And we'll head that way. So we'll enter at Point Alpha, and I think the notes for the SIDEWINDER, we didn't go over that, but I think it says you have to stay above 3,000 feet AGL until you get 3 miles past the Kern Valley Airport, that area, and we kind of need to fly towards the western side of the low-level corridor. So this route, you know, low-level routes, if you're not familiar with them, they're called military training routes, and they're just designated airspace for pilots to be able to fly low and fast to hone their skills. So that's a whole thing. I could do a whole video on that, but usually they're corridors, right? So you got the center line. They're depicted on sectional charts. Some of them are depicted on IFR low. Not the 4 number ones, but the 3 number ones are in the IR routes. But they're corridors, and this one is 2 on either side, 2 nautical miles on either side of the center line. So a total of 4, which, I mean, honestly, in a fast jet is not a lot. It's really not a lot of wiggle room to yank and bank. So we'll have to kind of be careful for that. We're not going to yank and bank a whole lot as far as like deviating along the center line, because that also goes into your fuel burn too. Now I'm looking, it's kind of early in the morning in California. That's one thing that we're going to change real fast. We're going to bump it up some, and the reason why, and this is a problem I think they run into in real life, is the shadows on the mountains. Like, it can be a real problem. So we're going to alleviate that. I want to say I actually seen some text referencing like mountain shadows and stuff like that. All right, so the entry point is actually, it was at back there, the western dam. We're just going to do 420 knots. It's not going to be anything crazy. So in real life, they do, the videos I've seen, they do a radio call right in the blind on a certain frequency here, because it is busy airspace, and it would be something like Sidewinder traffic, expert 11, single F-18, entering a Sidewinder low-level point alpha, 420 knots, 500 feet. So that's what we'll do. And we'll just fly the route. So far, beautiful scenery. This is honestly like one of my favorite stretches other than Star Wars Canyon. Star Wars Canyon is good. You'll see that in a bit when we get over there to it, but it's really nice through here. All right, we need to go rat outs. I'm gonna go through my checklist. Tons of videos online from the cockpit as well of pilots flying the Sidewinder. Plus, you know, there's tons of spotting videos too, so you can find a ton of stuff on it. Find some information online about it. The R2508 user guide, because this is part of, I call it like the Nellis complex, even though it also includes China Lake. Nice, beautiful, beautiful scenery. Right, we got to go towards the Needles over there. You can see them in the distance. That's what that mountain peak is called. Just try to maintain 420 knots. A little bit slow. We could time this out. I've got something else I did with the help of the amazing AI is a leg computer, so I can enter in a low-level route, the waypoints, and tell them an airspeed, and it'll compute the time for the legs for me. So that's really cool. I haven't done it for this, but really need a stopwatch for that. But right, so we'll go up and over the Needles here. Got a little bit slow. Go next waypoint. We'll turn it as soon as we get over. I've seen some go through here low on YouTube videos, and I've seen some do exactly this, like come over the Needles here and then make this big roll back around. Sweet. Right on the center line. You're really fast. Let's pull it back a little bit. Like I said, we've got 2 nautical miles to either side of the center line, but that really doesn't equate to a whole lot of room. Like I said, when you're in a fast jet, 420 knots, we're doing 435 over the ground right now, so it doesn't, it's not a lot. It's really just not a lot of wiggle room. You basically, in a jet, you could cover 2 miles in the blink of an eye. Let's go next waypoint. There we go. pretty much just right down the center line. Like I say, we're not deviating too much. All in all, not bad. It's a nice experience. It's an awesome way to enjoy the scenery. The airplane has some quirks. She has some, like if you roll her really fast, she has kind of this weird wobble to her, but it's very subtle. I think this is going to be a little draw here in the ridge line that's going to kind of drop us down into that valley, whatever it's called over here. Zoom in a little bit. It's going to take us off the center line a tad, but I don't think that's going to be 2 miles. It's going to be close to it, believe it or not, by the time it's over with. But yeah, we're getting pretty far off going this way. This is kind of a bad line for staying on the center line, honestly. Hopefully it won't take us too far. I think a wing, like that wing's width at that zoom level is close to 2 miles. It's really... All right, so we got down to 200 feet as well, too. Or 2 or 3 out. Yeah, see, it looks like we're on top of the waypoint down there, but we're still like we were about 3 out. A few clouds over here. All right, now we should be able to go. 0.4. This would be really fun to do in a 2-ship. Have your wingman hanging out back there and like fighting wing or trail. It'd be a really cool view for them. A little bit of an external view here. Look at there, pods galore, right? The Growler has pods for days, all their little propellers. If I was a real life Growler pilot, I would have fun with those propellers on the ECM pods. I would tell people that didn't know that's how we go. That's what makes us go. You know, there's people out there that would totally fall for that. They'd be like, really? That's what does it, huh? I'm like, yep. Yeah, we're not actually a jet. We're a 3 propeller airplane. That's our ground now. 448 knots. We're moving pretty good now. Okay, so that little hill, yeah, that little hill right ahead is going to be our setup for Star Wars Canyon. Now, I don't think they can actually fly it anymore in real life. I don't think they can go through the canyon. I think they can go above it, but I don't think they can go through it like they used to could, because they had a Super Hornet crash into the side of the canyon. It's been a few years back, unfortunately. So I think that kind of ended that routine. If you're not familiar with it, I highly suggest going on YouTube and looking up Star Wars Canyon. There's lots and lots of awesome videos. Yep, this is gonna set us up right here. This is the canyon right here, all right? So we got to enter it. We're 140 knots. We got to make it look good, right? Nice. All right, let's head towards Point Juliet, and that's going to be our exit. Now, there's way more to the route. There's way more points, but per the information that you can find on the internet, the actual route guide, you can exit at any point. You can enter and exit anywhere. That's pretty sweet. Gotta watch this. Slowly rising terrain will get you quick. Man, to me, it's like way more dangerous than rapidly rising terrain, because the slowly rising terrain just kind of gradually creeps up on you. And the next thing you know, you're flying along at 500 feet. Next thing you know, you're 100 feet. All right, there you go. All right, Expert 1-1, single F-18, exiting Sidewinder at points, what is this? Point Juliet. Climb a VFR. Sweet. Look at Star Wars Canyon back there. All right, so now we need to head back to China Lake. Climb up a little bit more. I think we're going to have a lot of gas. These fuel tweaks are nice. Like I said, I don't know. I think it may, yeah. It may have gone a little bit extreme the other way, but it's definitely better than what it was. At least you can fly somewhere now and not use a tank of gas in like 15 minutes. Probably at this point, I actually need to dump some fuel. All right, let's go back to Barrow. See if we can maintain VFR with these clouds here, just fly in and around them. Get above them. Let's see, what are we? Distance to China Lake is 31 nautical miles. Yeah, we got a little bit. Yeah, cool airplane. I wish they had Growlers in DCS. Pull the nose up a little bit, trim her up. Yeah, we'll do 14.5. Yeah, I really want to do this on VATSIM. You can, as long as you belong to a VSO, you can do it. But honestly, I've looked at the VSOs and none of them really appeal to me for what I want to do. Like, they do this stuff. I know they do. I've seen them do it. I know they do, but I don't know. It doesn't. It does. I haven't seen anything that's caught my attention. It really appeals to me. Spur might have to start his own VSO. We could totally do it. We need some people that want to fly. People that want to fly realistically low levels, right? It's got to be realistic. That's the only thing about VSOs. You can't just get out there and just do whatever you want and cause mayhem on the server and like chase down airliners and stuff like you gotta put in the effort to make this stuff realistic. Do it the right way. Might have a chance. All right, whatever. We're 15 out. Yeah, we need to descend now. Yeah, the weather kind of broke right here. That's interesting. I think that's, yeah, that's China Lake. Right in front of us here. We need to improve our fuel situation a little bit here. Yeah, we loaded too much. We need to get her down below 48,000 pounds. Get her down really 44 should be good. There we go. Try to keep her a little bit slow so we can lose some of this altitude. All right, let's turn in for initial. Just need to go back to rat out. There we go. Nice, we made it. All right, so we need 15 heartbeat, 350 knots. $1,600. Yeah, she's got some quirks to her as far as like how she handles. I wish it was DCS quality. Like those planes fly pretty good to me. The Viper, the F-18, the Tomcat. Kind of extend our breakout a little bit, so I'm not really familiar with it on this plane. Do they have an FCLP box? No, they don't. Never mind. Build carrier landing practice. All right, let's go into break. I have no clue what our reciprocal is. I didn't figure that up. There you go, I think good enough. All right, let's do gear. Do gear again, it didn't drop. There we go. Flaps. Trim her up. Trim her up, trim her up. Trim her up more, come on. Yeah, this is the other thing about this plane, her own speed. Is the gear down? No, it is not. Why did I could have swore I hit gear? Why did gear not come down? There we go. I saw we were missing an E bracket. I was like, wait a minute, that's not like. Yeah, her own speed sucks. That's the other big downside of this plane. Yeah, we should be on speed about now, honestly. And it's nowhere near. It's nowhere near on speed. Man, she turned that 180 fast too. Just getting used to it. Once you get used to the airplane, you kind of adapt a little bit. Yeah, she should totally be... She should at least be in the ballpark of own speed. Like, she is not even remotely close. May have to consult AI again. See if it can tweak the flight. Yeah, see, we should... Yeah, that is totally not right. That is not right. It's doable. I mean, you can do it, but there we go. Sweet. Speed breakout. It's doable. It's still fun. I enjoy it. It don't have to be 100%. Alright, guys. There you go. The Sidewinder and Star Wars Canyon in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We've done this before a long time ago. Like 3 years ago. It's been a super long time. We're probably going to be flying some more low levels. I absolutely enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Love all you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace. No, big cat. No. Stop. Oh, no. No, kitty. Oh, that's a MiG. That's a MiG over us. Okay. That's the weirdest day ever. Oh no, he just fell. He just fell.